What is going on, guys? It is Wraith. I am back once again. This time we got some Street Fighter Alpha 3. Oh, my voice there for a second. Street Fighter Alpha 3. We got Dan and we got Sagat, as you guys know. Street Fighter, well, if you don't know, Street Fighter Alpha 3 is probably my favorite all-time Street Fighter, especially from the artwork perspective. And I never thought that we'd actually get a Street Fighter Alpha 3 line, especially like extremely well done. So I'm actually really excited that we have these now, and we're going to I've decided I'm collecting all of these Alpha 3 figures. So as you know, we previously looked at Ken and Ryu. Awesome figures again. Street Fighter Alpha takes place before Street Fighter 2. So it's when Ryu and Ken are really younger at this point. So it's before that they started their training. They're still doing their training. So as we went through on the last review, this was back in February. This headband, or this tie on the back of Ken's hair, actually turns into Ryu's red headband. There's actually an animated sequence. Street Fighter the animated movie, Street Fighter 2 the animated movie, best Street Fighter movie of all time. I know we got a new live action movie coming out, but I'm sorry, nothing is going to beat that movie. And if you have never seen it, it is the best piece of Street Fighter art, animation, anything that you can come up with. It is the best that's ever come out. So anyway, but we looked at Ken and Ryu last time. These are by Storm Arena, so Storm Collectibles. This is their more approachable line, instead of the collectibles, where the Storm Collectibles have Street Fighter characters in them as well, but they're more expensive. I think they're closer to the $60, $70 price point that we've seen in the past. These are more along the lines of closer to the Jada Street Fighter figures as far as price. They blow away the Jada Street Fighter figures as far as quality and everything they come with. Well, not everything they come with. I think Jada does come with a bunch of cool stuff, but the quality of the figures, the quality of the sculpts, the colors, everything are absolutely perfect. So tonight we got Sagat, and we got the joke character Dan Hibiki. And we're going to open both of these figures up. Sagat is going to be massive. I'm really looking forward to him. We got Dan. I also got a couple more figures coming in. We got Chun-Li on pre-order. We got Charlie Nash, who is the best friend of Guile, and the reason why Guile was trying to kick the shit out of Bison in Street Fighter 2, because he essentially killed his partner. So we got Charlie coming. We got Chun-Li coming. They announced Akuma's going to be coming. And they're going to keep coming out with more announcements. So I'm doing all of my pre-orders through Big Bad Toy Store for these figures, for all of my Storm Collectible figures. So, yeah, anyway, we're going to get to Sagat and Dan tonight. But first, let me say hello to the chat and see who's in there on this nice Saturday night joining me. We got Cyber Rap. What's going on, dude? And we got Mr. OP. As well, Love Sagat. I have the Jada version. I admit the Storm figures are a bit more refined than Jada, but SF2 and Turbo hits me harder, so I'm sticking with Jada. Yeah, again, I have no problem from the perspective of the Street Fighter figures being collected by Jada, right? I had a little bit of an issue. Not an issue, I would say. I was just like, man, I really want Alpha 3 figures of these, and I never thought we would get them. And now that we've got them, I'm like, all right, well, it's fine. Jada figures also have their price point, and I'm glad that those are in the stores like Walmart and Target and stuff like that. I think they're actually only in Walmart, if I remember correctly. Oh no, I think they're in Target too. The movie gonna be good too, though. Yeah, I don't know. No lie, probably getting the Vegas Shawn Michaels figure. Yeah, they also came out with I saw the WWF cross with Street Fighter figures as well. I saw those in the I think it was Street Fighter cross with WWE. But anyway, they have the movie's going to be coming out later this year. I saw the trailer for it. I was going to do a reaction video to the trailer, but I decided against it. I'm like, I'll go see the movie and I'll do like a quick review on it. I think I've never seen the original Street Fighter 2 movie. I've only seen the animated animes that they've come out with, and I've loved those. So I'm kind of trying to stay away from the Street Fighter movies per se. But I will go and see this one. There's a lot of hype around it. It looks fun. I might not like some of the characters, but again, I've been playing Street Fighter for 35 years, so I have a certain attachment to certain characters and their look. But anyway, we're going to talk about some Alpha 3. Yeah, LOL, SFW. Yeah, I saw... That's what I saw in Walmart. I think I saw a Batista Sagat figure. I think that's what I saw. But anyway, I'm not going to collect those figures. I'm only sticking with the Alpha 3 figures just because I love this art and I love this game. This is definitely one of my top Street Fighter games. And as usual, guys, just a quick reminder, is my button even working tonight? If you like this content, please like and subscribe. As you guys know, I cover generally Warhammer, Joy Toy. I love these Street Fighter figures. I also do Street Fighter After Dark for Street Fighter 6. After this live stream, probably about half hour, 45 minutes, I'll jump on live and I'll play Street Fighter 6 for probably about 5 hours on my arcade stick. I am a longtime Street Fighter player, and yeah, I'm playing Street Fighter 6, not using any of the new rush system whatsoever, and seeing how far I can go. Right now, I'm at Diamond level 2. I'm only anytime I play the game, I'm only playing the game live, so I'm not doing any practice mode. Really, not looking at any frame data, not looking at any additional videos offline. So anytime I play the game, it's just when I play the game with you guys. So again, we'll do some Street Fighter 6 with the Honda. And Diamond level 2, I started playing Street Fighter 6 and I think around February, the end of February. So again, we'll see what's going on with that. But anyway, tonight we're going to look at Sagat and Dan, and we're going to take a look at how good these figures are. Raul Julia is the best thing about OG Street Fighter movie. Yeah, I never even saw it. Never even saw it. I'm actually kind of... When I heard that Roman Reigns was playing Akuma in the new movie, I was like, really? But then I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? It actually kind of makes sense from a lore perspective, where Akuma is kind of living on an island off of Japan, and kind of looks like Roman Reigns, or like an islander in a way. So yeah, that I actually think looks cool. The Cody Rhodes Guile thing is just, I don't know what to say about that. That looks insane. So, borrowing some of Carlos's verbiage tonight. But anyway, so we're going to save Sagat to last. We're going to open up Dan Hibiki here. If you guys don't know, his father actually was, well, I wouldn't say murdered. He was killed by Sagat. I think it took place around Street Fighter 1, or one of the fun things is to notice when you're playing Street Fighter, was it Alpha? It was definitely in Street Fighter 2. When Sagat walks out and he's fighting Dan in that game, he actually carries his father's corpse or something like that. I remember something along those lines. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, Sagat fought Dan's father, Dan Hibiki's father, and absolutely wiped the floor with him. Sagat was the Muay Thai champion. He was the #1 Street Fighter in the world, and Dan's father challenged him, and Dan's father got killed. So Dan has claimed that he's going to avenge his father in Mortal Kombat, or Street Fighter Combat, not Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter Combat with Sagat eventually. So we're going to look at Dan here. Dan has his Dan Fireball. Dan. Dan is a Joe character. He's based upon one of the characters in, was it Art of Fighting? I know that Sonny is going to correct me here. I don't really know a lot of Art of Fighting. I played it with Robert Garcia and Ryo. I think he's based upon a combination of Ryo and Robert Garcia, which is where he gets the hair from. The gi color is the same color as Ryo in that game, in Art of Fighting. So it's kind of like a combination of a Joe character that Capcom did. because Art of Fighting kind of copied so much of what Street Fighter 2 was with their characters that they made a joke character of Dan, and they based it on those two main characters, because those were the two main characters in Art of Fighting. I think it was an SNK. It was an SNK game. If you guys remember back in the day, they had the SNK arcade machines with multiple games you could pick from Samurai Showdown to Art of Fighting. There's some other action side-scrolling games also on it as well. So, what's up, Jacko? For me, it was Tuesday. Julia did it because his kids. Yes, I remember that. Yep, he had cancer and put everything into it for them. You could tell he was having fun throughout it. Not a very good photo on the pic. Looks like he's being punched. He does. Well, that's the whole point of with Dan. He's supposed to look like he's being punched in the face. He's a joke character again. If you played any of the Street Fighters, you know that his fireball literally goes the distance that we're seeing here on the back of the box. It literally goes that distance. So, and he has like multiple different taunts in the game. He has in Alpha 3 he can do, I think it was in Alpha 1, 2, and 3, he can do a super with his taunts. So, yeah, so he is quite the joke character. By the way, Zombie Tools, this is one of my favorite blades. We use this to do an unboxing. I actually got another Zombie Tools blade that was, they do a discontinuation on these blades every once in a while. This one was discontinued as well when I picked this one up. I have another one that I picked up and I just got the other day, which is a discontinued blade as well. And then I have another one. So we're going to do, I decided I'm going to do a long form review. We'll do a review on that, and that will go up on the channel in the next week or so, and you guys can see all of my Zombie Tool blades and a quick review on them. They're actually really awesome. I love these blades. Again, Zombie Tools is, I'll go into the video, but essentially they're really awesome blades. The steel is great graded, as well as they're full tang, so they're not cheap. So the blade handle, this is entirely one piece of steel that goes all the way through the handle. So it's a full tang. That's what that means. So these are awesome. And also from the zombie, so you're getting a motif or a design, kind of like a from the Walking Dead Apocalypse, right? They're supposed to essentially be like a little bit grimy and gritty, but the blades are absolutely awesome. So we'll do a review on the new one that I got pretty soon. So back to Dan here. So we got the bottom of the figure open, and also these figures will fit in with your Jada line if you guys want to do, if you want to pick up a couple of these figures and do like a cross between some of them, because some of the figures I believe in the Street Fighter Alpha line are not going to be available in obviously Jada. Like our Mika is not going to be available. That I'm sure is going to be a pretty popular character, as well as some of the other figures that are in Street Fighter Alpha and they're not in Street Fighter 2 for your Jada line. So Dan looks pretty cool. Again, same buck across the board as Ryu as well as Ken. We're going to see a couple of little differences here. Obviously his gi, we were talking about that before. It's a callback to Ryo in Art of Fighting. And his articulation is nice and tight. Arms are a little, well, no, his hand was a little bit loose. That's what it was. Something felt a little bit off on him when I was first pulling him out just now. So his hand pops off, and that's fine. And he's got that Robert Garcia hair with the ponytail, more like Steven Seagal. So figure feels great, nice and solid, dude. I'm gonna move this out of the way. This is his stand and a couple of the other pieces, but he looks cool. Very awesome figure, dude. I like it. Feels good. Articulation is nice and solid. Again, you can, with his thigh cut here, you can get a nice 360. Again, Dan, I want to see if Dan can do his Dan kicks. His Dan kicks. I used him in Street Fighter Alpha 3 too. He's a really fun character to use. And then on his chest, he always has this shirt on compared to like Ryu and Ken, who have the bare chested on their gi. But Dan has a colored, almost like a It's like one of the Under Armour shirts. So it's a nice tight shirt on here. It's just painted over. It's not anything extra that they did with him. Yeah, it's painted on. Oh, they did a nice job. I wonder if they did... Oh, these joints are actually colored. I wonder if they dipped these in the paint or if they're fully covered. Yeah, that's interesting. They may have just molded these in this color black plastic. So, butterfly joints across the board. He's going to be able to get himself into any pose that you're looking for Dan to do. I wonder if he comes with hands for his Dan. Well, he definitely comes with some additional heads to show that he's crying out for his father. He's going to avenge his father. He has the drop down hips on his legs. His legs are nice and tight. The articulation is nice and tight on this, and he can kick his own butt all the way back. Nice pointiness. He's got some toe articulation as well. Ooh, Dan is looking pretty nice, dude. Very cool. Alright, so we get that. And yeah, you can do more than a 90 degree. You can almost touch his arm. I'm trying to do it right now. I can pretty much do... Dan has more flexibility than I do. Flexing his Dan muscles there, too. He looks pretty cool. A good solid figure, man. I don't have any of the Jada figures. I probably need to pick up one to do a comparison on these reviews to the Jada figures. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. I'll pick up one of the Jada figures and do a comparison to the Storm Collectibles or the Storm Arena. The Storm Arena figures. And we got a nice shading as well. A little bit of a shading on his arms to show off that muscle tone. Ryu had it as well. And Ken had it. Did Ken have it? It's very, very faint on Ken. More pronounced on Dan here and Ryu. So, Dan looks cool. Let's see, we got the obligatory stand. I got one of these stands together. I really don't use them, to be honest with you. So, we got the stand here. Stand for Dan. What's going on? Trevor, what's going on? I've been selling off my older Storm figures. I sold Cammy for $230 today. Oh, man, I much prefer the smaller scale of Storm Arena and Jada. Yeah, I have E Honda from the Storm Collectibles line. I think it was Street Fighter 5 E Honda. So I'm going to bust him out. I'm going to see how big he is to these figures. And maybe I will be selling them off. Yeah, that was a good sale. Dan looks like he's cosplaying Goku. He does. Yeah, I'm surprised at how much a lot of those figures appreciate. Dude, I actually have... So I have the Udon figures. You know what I'm talking about. The Udon figures that came out over 10-15 years ago, still in the boxes, of Birdie and Sodom. Because Sodom was one of really the Alpha 3 characters that I played in tournaments, especially like that. So I still have that figure. I want to open those figures up live. I have Birdie and I have Sodom. And we're going to open up those figures probably in a couple of weeks. But yeah, so here's Dan. Dan's looking pretty good. Let's see what his extra pieces are that he comes with here. So he comes with his... Well, we're going to swap heads because he is definitely, at least from what I remember with Dan, he is not a stoic dude. He is definitely either crying. I'm actually kind of disappointed that we did not get a crying head with Dan for his father. Because that's what he says all the time when he wins. I'm going to avenge my dad. So, and he came up with this. He tried to train with Ryu and Ken. Oh, actually, that's hysterical. He's got his hand inside of the fireball here. And it looks exactly like how he does it in the Street Fighter. That is really cool. I really like that. Because the Ryu one is just a fireball, but he actually has his hand inside of this doing his Dan wall. That's hysterical. So he tried to train with Ryu and Ken with Goken, the Ryu and Ken's master. That did not work out, so Dan was like, you know what? I'm going to learn my own Dan style. And shit, man, let me tell you something. For a dude who learned how to throw a fireball by himself, that's a pretty impressive feat, because in real world, nobody else can do that. So if Dan Hibiki can do that, then that's quite impressive. And I would dare say he can probably beat the crap out of any real-world fighter. Oh, yeah, that is the Dan head right there, man. That is our Dan. Dan. He feels... You could tell he's about to taunt some of his opponents and tell them how good he is compared to them. Oh, this is cool. Now, let me see what kind of other hands he comes with here. Because... Oh, man, does he have a finger one? No, he has the come on to me. Let me see. And... Oh, man, he needs like a come here hand. Oh, man. Oh, that's disappointing. I guess that let me try this one. Let me see how this hand would work. Because that's the thing with Dan. Dan is just a taunt specialist. And that's one of the things that makes him so awesome. I guess so. He can be like, I am taunting you. And then... Yeah, we're not going to have Dan with fists. We're going to have Dan with his Dan hands. Nope, this is the wrong one. No, that is not the one we want to use. This is the one we want to use. So he's going to throw his Dan fireball. Inside of the fireball, it looks like this hand. So a little scrunchy hand. So he is... Oh, yeah, that's Dan. That's Dan. I mean, I can't get a Khmer finger, right? I guess that's going to be the closest we're going to get to it. But yeah, this looks perfect. That looks good. And then we're going to throw his hand out to the side as he's getting ready to throw his Dan fireball. Where's that? Right here. Yeah, man. That looks so cool. So he's going to reverse his hand grip, and then he's going to throw out that Dan fireball as well as his Dan taunts. That's cool. So he does come with a bunch of hands as well, just like Ryu and Ken. He does come with fisted hands. So there's 2 pairs of fisted hands. He comes with a kind of a cupping hand. That's interesting. And then the 2 hands that we were looking at before as well. So nice collection of hands. Just like I said, he comes with the stoic Dan face, but that is 1000% not going to be the head that my Dan is going to be running around with. And he comes with his stand. Stand for Dan. Alright, so there's Dan. Looking pretty good. We'll do a quick comparison with our man Dan and his Dan style. Dan Hibiki. And we'll throw him in with Ryu and Ken here. We'll have Dan in the middle, because Dan is quite the man. Alright, so there's Dan. Here is Ken. I love these figures, man. If you guys haven't... If you're interested in really some anime style art of Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Storm Arena, keep calling them collectibles, but Storm Arena figures, these are absolutely awesome, dude. I bring them in, there we go. And again, Ken has that fire. I think that's one of the best accessories that they've come with. And then we get Ryu. And I didn't like Ryu's fireball that he came with. It was very, very kind of basic. I don't know. And the stand that he, like, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was dramatic enough or useful enough for him to actually be able to use it. So there we go. This is the 3, I want to say Shotokan brothers, but they're not. We only got the 2. And we got Dan Hibiki style. He did try to train with them a little bit. And so he got his Dan fireball from kind of the idea of training with them. So very cool. I like Dan. The Jada E Honda looks really good. That's what I'll probably pick up. You know what? I'll do I'll pick it up after this stream. I think it's only like 15-20 bucks. It's actually pretty cheap. So I think I'll pick up that Jada E Honda. Because we're not going to get a Alpha 3 E Honda for a while if we do get that. So Twizzler19, what's going on, dude? Hopefully you're having a good night. So yeah, so there is Dan. Now we're going to get to the figure that I've been holding on to this figure for a while, waiting for another figure to come, and it just so worked out perfectly because it was Dan who Sagat took his daddy out, and so where's Sagat? Here he is. So here's Mr. Sagat. Sagat's a big boy. Sagat is a tall man. He is the at this point in Street Fighter. What's weird is he has a scar from Ryu. So he shouldn't have that. To be honest with you, he really shouldn't have. Or are they saying in this he did Ryu defeat? Because that scar across Sagat's chest came from Ryu. Was that at the end of the original Street Fighter 1? I don't know. I remember in Street Fighter the animated movie from 1994, they show them in the very beginning fighting, and Ryu has the red headband on from Ken. So in this version, he didn't get the Ken headband yet. So I don't know. I don't know why Sagat has that scar on his chest. I don't feel like at this point that he would have gotten the scar from Ryu. So, oh, Sagat looks really awesome, dude. Sagat looks really good. I think this is going to be one of my favorite figures that they've come out with. I like Ryu and Ken, but I've only gotten the same buck, right, 3 times. So I've got the same buck with Ryu, Ken, and Dan now. But now we're getting finally a different buck, and this is a big boy. This is a large figure, so let's get him out. There we go. We're getting the... Oh, yeah, he is tall. Well, he's supposed to be 7 feet, over 7 feet tall in the Street Fighter universe, so he's a tall boy. We got his stand as well. Comes with a bunch of fun accessories. Hopefully these accessories, or especially his Tiger Shot, works better than the Ryu Fireball. That's what I'm hoping, at least. We'll see. Hopefully he can use that a bit better. So there is Sagat. Ooh, yeah, dude, he is one beefy. Holy hell! Is this an uppercut? Or is this a Tiger Shot? This looks like a Tiger Shot. Wow, this is huge. Look how big this effect is. That is quite a large effect. So let's pull the camera in a little bit closer here. Sagat looks really good. Wow. I am very impressed. So he only comes with 2 extra sets of hands. And this is his, I'm getting ready to throw a Tiger Shot at you head. And then he comes with a nice, different grin face. Let's do this. The Sagat. There's our extra Sagat head. Looking pretty cool. I think actually, lore-wise, I think Dan Hibiki's father took Sagat's eye in that fight, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look that up. I think it was. I think Dan Hibiki's father took Sagat's eye. But wow, dude, Sagat looks freaking amazing, dude. So Muay Thai. Can you imagine this big being Muay Thai? God damn, dude. The articulation is super, super tight on this. His shorts are actually part of the sculpt, so they're not going to come off. But it works because we have the thigh cut right where those shorts are, so it's nice and hidden. Actually, I have to bring it out a little bit. So the thigh cut is nice and hidden within those shorts, which is cool. We get some nice shading on this. Man, I'm so happy that... Because in Alpha 3, or in the Street Fighter Alpha series, Sagat was way bigger and beefier than what Street Fighter Alpha 2 look of Sagat was. So when Alpha 3 came out, man, dude, or Street Fighter the Alpha came out, Sagat was usable and playable in that game, and he was just so humongous, dude. Remember in Street Fighter 2, he was kind of skinny for his height, but in this version, man, he definitely got beefed up. He was on something. So looking very cool, very stacked. Trying to think of which head I want to go with on here as well. So that Sagat felt as one small ultra. He definitely could be Jocko. Yeah, Sagat looks awesome, dude. Buddy of mine couldn't remember his name when we played Street Fighter 2, so we kept calling him Tong Po from the Van Damme kickboxer movies. Oh man, yeah, dude. Remember that Bloodsport? Chun-Li, Chun-Li. Dude, I love that movie. Actually, what was I watching? A YouTube interview with the dude who played his Van Damme's like bro, American bro, and the guy who really couldn't fight or something like that. I think that was the thing in the movie, and he was talking about how Van Damme was a a jerk on the movie set, which kind of makes sense. But here we go. So Sagat looks so cool. Definitely the best figure so far. Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to when we get Akuma. But again, same buck is going to be as the other Ryu and Ken figures that we've gotten already. Dude, Sagat looks so good. Dude. Look at the articulation on him, dude. Oh, man. Thick neck. Nice solid shoulders. Huge chest. So he can do... Wow, look at the... Oh, yeah. He can do the splits, boy. He can do the splits, man. Wow. And as a Muay Thai fighter, you're supposed to be able to do this. So, can we get... You know what? We'll get the upper... So, he has a upper torso crunch, which goes... Actually, that's really cool. So, it goes full... They sculpt... Is this a sculpted... No, it's painted on. Okay. So, that... Is this sculpt... Hold on. I can't tell. I can't tell if that's sculpted on or painted on. I feel like that's painted on. But they went throughout the whole torso on here. You can see how far the scar follows Sagat's chest. So even going this far up with him, which is the extent of that torso crunch, he's going to be able... You're not going to lose sight of that scar. So he's still going to have his scar the entire time. But Sagat looks freaking amazing, dude. I don't know what head I like better. The stoic, I'm going to kick your ass head, and I don't care. Or the I'm angry head. I'm gonna throw a tiger shot the size of the world at you. I don't know. This looks cool. Alright, so how does this work? Oh, I guess this is just going to go on his fist. I would assume. Because, so these hands, and we'll swap them out. So when Sagat does a super in Street Fighter, any of the I think except for Alpha, or for Street Fighter 2, when he does a super, he, just like Ryu, when he puts his hands back, that's what Sagat does. Sagat uses these hands, or this hand gesture, and he pulls his arms back, and that's when he throws out that tiger shot. So, these are nice and malleable hands, dude. But you know what it is? They don't have to... I was about to compare them to the Joy Toy hands that we've gotten, but these are able to be a lot more smushy because they never have to hold anything. The Joy Toy figures have to be more rigid. Man, Sagat looks so cool. We got a little bit of a wash on the entire body. The color of the skin tone follows throughout, so they made sure there's no difference in skin tone across the board. We get some wash on his wraps, and there's some texture on the wraps. So this is not just painted in. This is textured on. So just like that, as well as his hands are the same way. Nice and textured on, as well as we get a little bit of a gray wash on the white to signify that, yep, he has not changed his hand wraps. Dude, I don't know. Let me try the other head. Let me see. But I'm definitely going to pick up Cyber. I'm going to grab that Honda figure from Jada. Oh, I don't know, dude. What do you guys think? Which head do you like better on Sagat? Do we like this one? Or do we like the stoic head, which he doesn't care? Bro, Sagat does not care. Sagat, even though he isn't the boss Street Fighter in the Shadow Loot, he's still an unbelievably badass character. In the animated movie, he got his ass kicked in the beginning by Ryu, but did he fight? I think he fought at the very end. But Sagat looks awesome, dude. I don't know. What do you guys think? Which head do you guys like better? Let's put him right here. And we're gonna throw. We'll do the effect in a second here, and we'll figure out how that's going to work. He is tall, bro. Sagat was my guy. What's up, Choblu? When I played Street Fighter 2, that's what you're saying. Looks like, what's up, DG? Ray, what's up? What's up? Lone, you are one of the options in the in the question, the poll tonight. Should give Blanca an eye patch for that intro. Blake and eye patch for that intro. Actually, yeah, Blake could easily be Sagat. I like the gritting teeth look, more menacing if he's coming at you. Yeah, maybe we'll stick with that, especially because I'm gonna be having him. Oh, you know what the other thing too is his chest is a malleable plastic, so it's not a hard plastic like his torso. So his lower torso is a hard plastic. His chest is a very malleable plastic. Extends obviously to his back, but it's impressive because they got you can't see any color difference between the two different plastics being used here, and that's pretty impressive. So they made sure the shading was right on point. The arms, I was gonna say the arms have a little bit extra shading, and so it comes out a little bit between this portion of the butterfly joint and his upper arm, but that's really the only color distortion I see here on the Sagat figure. Other than that, he is a big, beefy powerhouse, dude. So his tiger shot. Oh yeah, so I guess I'm gonna have to look on the box, because sometimes these. Oh, it comes apart. Okay. Well, that makes it easier to put on, I think. Let me look at the back of the box. Yeah, it's for his leg. It's for his leg. He has it in Alpha 3. So in Street Fighter 2, he had the tiger knee. But in Street Fighter Alpha 3, they gave him... He had the tiger knee, but he also had a super with his tiger kick. So that's what they're giving here, and that's what it is. That's the end of his foot. Oh, I see. I don't know if I like that. I actually would have rather had a tiger shot. Or, yeah, dude, I would have rather had a tiger shot. This is interesting. So let's see how this is going to work. It's like a cast you're putting on Mr. Sagat here. So we're going to put on... I don't know if this is the right foot or if it depends. We're going to try to encase his foot in fire. I don't think this is the right foot. I think it's this one. Let's see. I don't know. I don't like this. Yeah, it's this foot. Yep. Alright, let's see. See if we can get this encased in his fire cast. Why are you giving me these problems, Sagat? Is foot supposed to be bent? No. It's supposed to be like this. And then the little piece goes into here. And his big toe is in the way. What the? Killing me here. Killing me. I think this goes like this. Yeah, I would have, I'll be honest with you, I would have definitely have preferred this to be a tiger shot. I don't know why they made it his tiger knee, or his tiger kick, that he flies across the room with. Yeah, oh man, this is super awkward. Yeah. I'm gonna have to mess with this offline and see if I can do something with this. I don't like this at all. I would have rather... Storm Arena, I would have rather had a tiger shot. Definitely would have rather had a tiger shot for this. I know that maybe their Sagats already came with it. I don't know. This is not working too great. I'm gonna have to mess around with this. Other than the effect, which is secondary, the figure is freaking amazing. I will say this: the effects look... Well, this is probably the best effect. You can put a little stand in the bottom of here for Dan's fireball, but I'm not impressed with the effects that Storm Arena has come with. This does not work, and I do not... I wonder if I could just turn this to a tiger shot. Jesus. Rather just have it... Now, it looks like a big foot. It looks like he's throwing out a foot. That's the problem. Tiger foot. Tiger foot. Yeah, I don't like this. I'll have to mess around with that offline. But anyway, Sagat looks absolutely awesome. Total badass. Great figure. Definitely... Oh, dude, his knees are great, too. He absolutely looks awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love his look in Alpha 3 or any of the Street Fighter games. So let's do Mr. Sagat standing there nice and tall. And Mr. Badass. I wonder if I can do something with that effect. Now I'm trying to think of what I can do with it. His feet are a little... Let me see here. So they're on that joint. He's got some toe articulation on his feet as well. Oh, that's a weird look, right? That's kind of weird. He's got toe sandwiches. They look like big sandwiches there. His joints on his feet. You can do a pointing kick. Woo! But Sagat looks awesome, dude. I'm very happy. So far, I'm very happy with the figures themselves that they've come out with from Storm Arena. And Trevor, are you grabbing these Alpha 3 figures as well? So there's Sagat, and we get some size comparisons. There's Ryu. There is Ken. Actually, we're going to swap it around. There's a size comparison, just so you can see. This works. This works. This doesn't look like it's not in scale for Street Fighter Alpha 3 or any of the Alpha games. So this looks cool. And we'll take some pictures later of Ryu giving Sagat his chest scar. But here's the one that we wanted to see, which is Dan trying to get revenge on Sagat. So, very cool. Again, I'm going to get some new figures with some newer bucks in the future. Man, Sagat is huge, almost coming out of the picture. There we go with Dan. Dan is a fun character. He's short, man. We're going to get Chun-Li. We're going to get Guile. We're going to get Akuma. And I'm sure they're going to come out with more figures because I'm sure that this is a pretty popular line. So, very, very cool. What is going on, Neo? I was waiting for you to jump in, man. I know you're a Sagat fan. Tiger, uppercut, tiger shot. Dude, yeah. Like I said, the only problem with Sagat here is just the fact that this effect should have been a tiger shot. Shouldn't have been a tiger knee effect, essentially, where he flies across the screen with I think this was a super, actually, in Alpha 3. But he comes with a couple of extra hands as well. I'm going to throw those over on the side. And this is all of the Storm Collectibles figures that they've come out with. They've actually come out with a couple of different color variation figures as well. There's some clear, I think there was clear purple figures that they came out with. I think Big Bag Toy Store had. I'm not interested in any of the variation figures. I just want the regular looks. I'm not going to pick up any of the other ones. So this is our setup. This is our lineup so far for the Alpha 3 figures. Again, we'll be collecting all of them as they come in. And we'll do a review soon. Yoga Flame, Yoga Fire. Sorry, wrong character. That is Dhalsim, dude. That is Dhalsim, but that's okay. I'm sure that we're going to get a Dhalsim figure also in the future as well. So, all right, guys. That is the Storm Arena. Sagat and our boy Dan as well to go along with my previously purchased Ken and Ryu for the Street Fighter Alpha 3 line. So as I get more of them in, I'm going to wait till I get 2 of each figure. So once I think the next one is going to be Charlie and Chun-Li. So when I get both of those figures, then we'll do another live unboxing like this. And then the next one should be Akuma. And we'll see what other figure they come out with and they're going to release as well. So, alright guys, this is the review. I love these figures. I have no problems with the figures themselves. It's the accessories that I'm not too keen on so far with them. That SF2 Sagat spam those attacks bad. Yes, range attack from Sagat. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to do a live Street Fighter 6 After Dark, probably about 40 minutes. And we'll play, I say, for 2 hours, but I'm going to probably go till about 5 a.m. And I am trying to see how far I can get without using any of the new systems. I'm doing pretty good. I'm at Diamond right now. See if I can get to Master Rank, which is the next one up. from E Honda. So if you guys want to jump on and see me playing some actual Street Fighter, I'm a 35-year Street Fighter player, and I used to play in some tournaments as well. Used to go to Chinatown. Used to played a couple times against Justin Wong in Chinatown. So especially in Street Fighter 4. But all right, guys. That is my review of the Storm Arena, Sagat, and Dan. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. Remember, tomorrow we're going to have the episode of Toy Hammer After Dark at 10 p.m. And we're going to talk about one thing that I am so excited that we got this week, which is the Raven Guard. And I'll tell you guys how many figures I ordered, because it's not just one of each. So we'll talk about that tomorrow on Toy Hammer After Dark at 10 p.m. But again, I'll be back on in about 45 minutes. We're going to do some live Street Fighter 6 E Honda work. So, all right, guys. Thank you for watching. Okay, guys. I'm Wreath. I'm out. Later, guys.